Hier, Officer McCown, wir haben einen flüchtigen Dieb.
Der gehört mir!
Was?
Officer Hobbs, ich verfolge ihn! Ich muss ein Kennzeichen checken lassen.
Flash wird uns helfen. Er ist der Schnellste.
Was? Das sind alles Faultiere?
Wie jetzt? Nur weil er ein Faultier ist, kann er nicht schnell sein? Flash, Flash, blitzschnell und fesch. Kumpel, schön dich zu sehen.
Schön, dich zu sehen.
Officer Judy Hobbs, CPD, wie geht's?
Mir geht es
Gut?
gut. Was
Er hat's gleich.
kann ich tun
Nun, ich würde gerne ein Kennzeichen
für euch
Nun, ich würde gerne ein Kennzeichen...
heute?
Nun, ich würde gerne ein Kennzeichen überprüfen lassen. Wir haben es sehr, sehr eilig.
Guys, congratulations. What an amazing movie. I mean, I was cracking up so much yesterday. So funny. First of all, how do you come up with an idea like that?
Well, long ago, about 5 years ago, after I finished directing Tangled, I talked to John Lasseter and I said it would be great to do one of these talking animal films like Robin Hood that we did years and years ago. And he was so excited that he grabbed me and he picked me up over his head. He's very strong. And
John Lasseter is a powerful man.
Powerful man. He's
Strength
very
and heart
excited. And strength,
and
he's very,
emotion.
he's got a low center of gravity.
Lifted him.
He lifted me, and he said,
witnessed.
"We're doing this." He said, "We're
Yeah.
doing this, but you guys have to make this an animal film like no one has ever seen before." So we did about a year of research into the world of animals and how the city could be formed. This idea of an animal city was what got everyone really excited.
I heard a little bit yesterday, but of course, the people didn't. So, I mean, you did research, I think, like you started in Animal Kingdom, right?
Right,
And you like studied all the animals, right? I mean, it took you like 18 months and, you know, like, did you just stay here? Did you go anywhere else? Tell me a little bit about the research on studying of the animals.
You took a big trip.
We took a big trip. Yeah, we came here first, and we learned so much from the animal experts that they have here at Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park, and that was amazing. But then we went back home, and John Lasseter said, "Well, you guys have seen animals in an artificial environment, which even though it's like the best one in the world, you guys have to go where the animals started." And we were like, "Where is that?"
San Diego
San Diego
Zoo?
Zoo? No, and he said, "No, not San Diego."
Oh.
And I said, "Where did you mean?" And he says, "Africa." And we said, "Africa?" And he said, "Africa." And so he sent us all to Kenya. So he sent our leadership on the movie to Kenya. We spent 2 weeks in the wild, right next to, as close to lions as this.
Imagine I'm a lion.
He's a lion.
Okay,
You see?
I'm right here.
He's fuzzy like a lion, dangerous,
Yeah.
dangerous lion, and we were this close. And we learned so much from animals there, and it really changed us. Like we came back, and we thought we have not done nearly enough to represent animals in this film. So we really dug in. All our animators filmed hundreds of hours of animals in Africa. They took thousands of photos. And it really changed how we looked at the film because we really wanted to make sure we brought what was special about real animals to this animated cartoon world.
Now, one thing which totally blew me away yesterday, the tiger and the perfume. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
Why is
like,
it the tigers like perfume?
Well, let me tell you.
why is that?
Because
Yeah.
I was not there.
No,
I was
no.
not there. I was not on the movie at that point. This
Yeah.
was like very early on.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing the footage of that there was, and I thought, oh, it must be some sort of tiger pheromone or something.
You think
but
it's
no,
Right?
it's like what you would buy at duty free
Yeah.
at the airport.
No.
You know,
It's the most horrible
It's the new
perfume.
fragrance by
By
Liz Taylor.
Paco Rabanne.
Not saying that Liz Taylor's fragrance is not great. I'm wearing it now. You know, I love
He
White
smells
Diamonds.
great, I think. White
Yeah,
Diamonds.
But,
Totally.
you know, yeah, I don't. Why do they like
Well, here's the
like
thing.
just store-bought perfume?
I thought the same
know?
thing. We thought, is this some sort of specialized tiger pheromone? But no, the keepers actually showed us. They took us in the back, and they have huge plastic bins of the most horrible, tacky perfume ever.
It is like the duty-free shop.
It is like the
you
duty-free
know?
shop, like the low-end duty-free shop. And the more horrible the perfume, the more the tigers love it. Tigers are a cheap date. They
Yeah,
love
you know,
love cheap perfume, and they'll spray it.
I
all
kind
over
of
the
knew that
place.
about them.
You knew that.
I knew that.
And so we'll spray it everywhere. They had us spray it on trees and on their toys, and the tigers will come in after we've left, and they will rub all over it, and they'll scent mark it, which you definitely want to be out of the cage for that.
Yeah.
Don't be there. But that's how tigers communicate through scent, and so they dig that. And I think that like
Without that scent, they just don't feel sexy.
no.
They just feel less than.
Did you learn any other valuable things like
About
that?
perfumes?
No, about animals. About not cheap dates. No. I mean about about.
Oh, I
animals.
know all about it.
Well, we did learn that. You want to talk about the art, the Shrew? The Shrew is the most vicious
Yeah,
predator.
that we have a character in the movie who's a mob boss named Mr. Big, and Mr. Big is a tiny Arctic shrew. And besides just being funny, you know, that a shrew would be called Mr. Big, we found out they are the most vicious predators in the wild.
Wow.
It's true.
Yeah, they are absolutely vicious. Our animal expert said if you put 4 shrews in a bucket overnight and put a cover on it and came back in the morning, there would be 1 shrew left, and he'd be very fat from eating the other 3.
fat
So
shrew.
they are vicious predators,
Yeah.
the worst in the world. So try that experiment at home, kids. Get 4 shrews, put them in a bucket, and see what happens.
Oh, Entschuldigung, Vorsicht, Verzeihung, pardon.
Zug von ist das Leibendste! Hey!
Hey, keinen Schritt weiter!
Du hast einen Donut, Schatzi!
Oh mein Gott, habt ihr diese Leopardenmuster-Leggings gesehen?
Oh! Sehr schöne Frisur.
Oh, danke schön.
Komm zum Papa. Ha!
How did you get to the Officer Hop, obviously, and Nick, the fox? I mean, you know, you always usually get from all your past experiences, you know, like any characters you create, it comes from somewhere. So where did those 2 come from?
Those guys came from, well, you know, I guess I grew up on films like Robin Hood, and Rich grew up on Jungle Book. I think it was the first film you
That's
ever
the
saw.
first one I ever saw in a movie theater.
In a movie
Yeah.
theater. And so I think we love great Disney animal films. I think for me, I always liked rabbits. I don't know why. I find them fun to draw. So I guess I'd always been drawing rabbits. And so when we started talking about a cop character for this movie, we thought, what would a great character be who wants to be a cop, especially in this world if cops are big, huge animals like Cape buffalo and rhinoceros and wildebeest, big, tough animals. It'd be great if our cop, wannabe cop, was this little, fluffy, cute thing who people underestimate and don't believe in, and that's a great obstacle for a character, and that's why Judy really worked as a rabbit. We thought that was a perfect choice for that.
And I think that she has, you know, deep roots in kind of classic cinema characters from movies, like from Frank Capra movies, of that kind of very pure of heart, good person wanting to go to another place and realizing a dream, you know, but they're not perfect characters. They have their flaws, and they discover something about themselves along the way that by the end of the movie they've changed, but they've grown. They're still, you know, the great person we loved at the beginning, but they're a bigger, more kind of mature version of that person.
I love how you picked up so many messages in the movie. I don't want to give too much away right now, but there's a lot of messages in there. One specifically I find very interesting. It's like, have a dream, follow it, and don't let anybody else tell you you can't do that. So are you like talking out of past experiences, or what was it like when you were growing up? Like, was that your dream?
I think that that just to kind of redefine it a little bit more pointedly, is that the way that I think of it is that we have control over one person in this world, and that's ourselves, you know. And we all have dreams, we have aspirations, and sometimes the world doesn't share that enthusiasm. Sometimes the world has its own opinions on us, on me, you, but those are just opinions, you know, that we control who we are. It's it's my job to define who I am, not the world's. They have their opinion, you know, but ultimately that's my choice of who I'm going to be. And I think growing up as an artist, you know, around a family that didn't quite understand art, you know, they wanted the best for me, my parents, my brothers, sisters, and friends. But they didn't quite understand what this thing was. I wanted to work in animation. I wanted to draw, you know. I wanted to go to art school. And you meet people along the way when you're taking a path like this that people want you to be safe. They want you to be able to make a living. You know, they want you to be able to feed yourself when you get older.
Yeah, you shouldn't starve. Right?
Yeah, you know, that's important. I faced a lot of that growing up, of kind of, well, wouldn't you rather do this? You know, don't you think this is a better way to go? But there was something in me, you know, and I think all artists, you know, we work with people just like us at our studio, kind of understand that feeling, you know, and we really kind of imbued a lot of that drive and determination into Judy as a main character.
Hey everyone, it's Shakira. I'm gonna play a small snippet of my new song, Try Everything. Put your paws up! I messed up tonight. I lost another fight. Lost to myself, but I'll just start again. I keep falling down. I keep on hitting the ground. This is Zootopia. Anyone can be anything. I won't give up.